Joining into the 6Three podcast, I'm your host Joel with my co-host Ben and guest host Blake. Um, it's been a minute. Blake and I showed up for the WBC preview, and that was really fun. Ben, if you could tell, looks like a dad. It's because he is a dad. So good things happening over in the Wheaton household. Glad to have you
Yep.
back, and we'll
Thanks.
try to get the show back on the road on a more regular basis here. But it's the MLB preview, which is the big reason we're all getting back together. It's something special. We all love baseball. And after a long off season, here we are. So WBC really like kind of pumped me up a little bit more even for the season. Good to watch fun baseball in spring. But yeah, we're gonna do the same old that we've done the last two MLB previews. We're gonna discuss our top 30 MLB players for the year. We're going to make our award predictions. We're going to dive more in depth with our teams, the Tigers and the White Sox. And then we'll go through each division and just kind of do our top to bottom on it. So a little bit longer of a show, but it's fun because it's baseball. So, Ben, you're going to get the first pick for the top 30 MLB players of 2023. Who are you taking?
All right. So number one, I'm going to take Shohei Ohtani. It's kind of hard to argue with the guy that is elite. Both
that struck out possibly number two.
Yeah, I mean both pitching and hitting, he's elite. So yeah, you can't really argue with that. He's the craziest thing we've seen in baseball in a really long time. Not sure we'll ever see it again.
Van Dyke could pitch both arms.
Yeah, there's a guy actually that's pitching for Mississippi State right now that throws like 95 with both arms.
I saw that too. Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah, that's a good first pick. I'm sure that was probably Blake's too. That was mine.
Pretty easy. He's put up some pretty monster numbers. We just kind of hope he can stay healthy and continue this little run here. Because I wasn't
30 now, 29, 30, somewhere around.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on him right away. I mean, I knew he was like talented, but I just didn't know how long he could really continue to do it both ways, and he's figured it out. So
yeah, good stuff. Blake, who you got number two?
Mike Trout. I think that's pretty easy pick there. I would love to see Shohei and Mike Trout, do something with the Angels and actually get to play in some contention and that kind of
stuff. It's
stuff.
sad that the top two players probably finishing fourth this year in the division.
Yeah. They both enjoy playing the WBC. Mike Trout got a taste of what it feels like to be in the World Series. It's pretty amazing. So
for sure. I think it's just funny, all the memes and stuff after in like the comments on Twitter after Trout struck out or Ohtani struck out Trout or through the WBC. They're like, oh, the Angels must be amazing. Yeah, well, they're not.
Yeah, I think it was Barstool. It's like, imagine what would happen if these guys were on the same team.
Yeah, I did see that on Twitter.
Well, actually, they might win 70 games. So yeah, it's a shame. I agree, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe they'll figure it out this year. I doubt it.
Yeah, my number three is Aaron Judge for the Yankees. Drilled over 60 home runs last year, allegedly without steroids, probably just because he's a massive human being. But yeah, easily the best player in the Yankees, who look like they have another pretty decent roster this year, just with his ability to crank the ball. Obviously, Yankee Stadium half the year, that helps with the numbers a little bit. But yeah, I think he's a good pick for number three.
I'm gonna go with Mookie Betts at number 4. Elite. I mean, just elite outfielder. He'll probably play second base. He might be playing some second base this year. We'll see. His B WAR last year was 8.6, which is pretty nuts. Or actually in his career is 8.6. 117 runs scored, led the National League last year. Won another Gold Glove. Just really steady and pretty dominant at the top of the lineup for the Dodgers.
Yeah, strongest arm I've seen in the outfield in a while. I remember when he threw it all the way from the right field corner to third base. I was like, my goodness.
And he's not that big of a guy.
No, he's not. So he's a freak. So
yeah,
it's impressive what he does.
All right, who's your 5?
I've got 5 at Nolan Arenado. I think, defense speaks for himself. He's got power. He hits for average. The guy him and Goldschmidt being on the same team, I think it's another nuts combo to put together. I think it was something like 17 players from the Cardinals organization went to the WBC. So that's just nuts to me because some of the teams I was looking like, did they send anybody?
Right.
So there was some that like the Cubs, I think they sent Saya, but then he got hurt. And then they had that Assad guy. Maybe on there's one guy in Canada they sent too, but yeah, there wasn't. Some teams didn't have many guys, so
Yeah, it's crazy.
And the Tigers who let their guys go, like let them play one game, and we're like, never, you're not playing anymore.
We're gonna have a great season.
Yeah.
Number 6, I had him as my number 4. And a lot of people might think it's a reach, but I think he's going to be stellar, and it's Julio Rodriguez. 6'3", 230. I mean, hit 284 already in his rookie year last year with 28 home runs, 75 RBIs. He's fast. He had 25 stolen bases as well. Plays really good defense. Made an incredible catch in the WBC as well. I think he's huge for the Mariners to have some success this year. And I think he's only going to get better. So, yeah.
Okay. I like Rodriguez. I had him a little lower, but I get it.
Same.
Wouldn't be surprised if he's top 5.
He's still got to prove it a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Manny Machado at 7. Elite defender. There's a lot of good third basemen right now. That's why he hasn't just piled on the Gold Gloves. Well, he's elite there. Last year he had about a 7 WAR, 32 bombs, hit 298. He's a 6-time All-Star, and he was really good late in the year. And he's still kind of coming into his prime. He came up so early with the with Baltimore. He started when he was 19 with them his first year. So he's still 30 years old. So he can still. I still feel like he's still going to be able to put up some big numbers for next stretch of years here. So we'll go with Machado.
All right. Well, I get number 8. As I already mentioned it earlier. So I'm going with Paul Goldschmidt. Not a big Cardinals fan by any means, but I think he's a good defender. When he hit 317 last year, not easy to do. Definitely has some pop in the bat as well. So that's always awesome to see. He had a great World Baseball Classic. So I think it's interesting because now we look at the last season, but at the same time we're looking at spring training and the World Baseball Classic because it's kind of a precursor to what's going to happen this year. So,
right.
Yeah, you think Matt Weissler is going to have like a 29.7 ERA?
He might.
Brady Singer, yeah.
Brady Singer might be in for a rude awakening. Had a tough time.
Yeah, no, I had Paul Goldschmidt at 7, so that's a good spot for him. My 5 here is still available, so give me. Speaking of really great World Baseball Classic, Trey Turner. He's gonna keep it going.
That was my next one too.
Yeah, just play a shortstop, second base, but can play outfield too. Still under 30 years old, and hits for great average. Has pop, obviously. Showed a ton of pop actually for this WBC. Had 100 RBIs last year on the dot. He's good for 25 to 40 stolen bases every single year, and plays a pretty decent defense. So a guy that can get you a batting title, make an All-Star game, Silver Sluggers, maybe even a Gold Glove conversation, but also get the Phillies back to the World Series maybe. So
you could also steal 70 bags if you let him.
They don't let him. Nobody does that anymore. But now this year the big
He's
bases.
got bigger bases, yeah.
Bigger
bases. Time it a
yeah.
little bit. So let's see. We'll see what happens.
All right, number 10.
I'm gonna go with Jose Ramirez.
AL Central killer.
I still think he can be criminally underrated at times. He's a monster. Led the league in doubles last year at 298. He would have led the league in RBIs if Aaron Judge didn't exist, because he had 126 RBIs. Just crazy on base percentage. He was intentionally walked the most in the league. Finished 4th in MVP voting, All-Star. He's not even 30 yet. I mean, I think he's a top 3 or 4 third baseman in my mind. I mean, there's a lot of good third basemen, like I said. He's great defensively still, and then he's a switch hitter, which can make it tough. So, and yeah,
He is my only AL Central player in my top 30.
He destroys AL Central too, which it sucks, but yeah, for sure. So we'll go with Jose Ramirez.
That was 10.
Yep.
All right, so 11. It's maybe going to be a little unpopular taking this high, but Juan Soto. I know he's still got to prove himself, kind of like Julio Rodriguez. He was a little banged up last year, so didn't have a phenomenal year, but I think you guys have all seen him play. You see, he's a great defender. He's got a ton of pop in the bat. Intimidates you at the plate. I think he's the whole package. He's just got to put together. He's still really young, so it'll definitely happen.
All right, I'm going to pick Team Canada here. Freddie Freeman, 12. Obviously, he's got an MVP. He's 6-time All-Star, Gold Glover, 3-time Silver Slugger, hit 325 last year. The pop went a little bit down, only 21 home runs for him last year, which is relatively low for Freddie Freeman. But again, a really good player here for the Dodgers.
All right, I'm going to go with Yordan Alvarez here at 13. I don't know. He's kind of terrifying at the plate when you see him. 6.8 WAR last year, 37 bombs, hit 306. Just a monster. I mean, mostly a DH. He doesn't really play outfield anymore, but he was an All-Star last year. I think he's going to keep getting better and better, and that lineup is just tough to get through, and you can't really pitch around him because you have Tucker, you got a Jose Abreu in that lineup now, you got a bunch of other guys that really protect him, so he's going to continue to get his chances. So
14.
All right, we get 14, and 14 I have Bryce Harper. Obviously, we saw what he did in the playoffs last year. He's been consistently hitting above 285 for the last couple of years, so that's good. Obviously, a ton of power, fun to watch. Not a huge fan of his antics, but he is good. So well deserving of the spot.
I like him. He plays really hard. The question is, he's hurt, right? So how much do they get out of him this year? And he is hurt a lot.
I know he is hurt a lot, but I think he'll come back and we'll be able to give him some time.
All right. I don't know what happened to my computer. I guess I'll go back to it. Thankfully, I had it on a Google Docs. Probably okay. My next is Ronald Acuna Jr. here at 15. Obviously, probably batting leadoff for the Braves this year again. Really would have been just one of the sweetest swings in baseball right now, honestly. Bat flips, antics. He's got the whole package in that regard. Again, he has pop, his speed, pretty good fielder, and hits good contact too. So,
all right, I like it. I'm going to take the first pitcher. I'm going to take Sandy Alcantara. Cy Young Award, NL Cy Young Award last year. He was probably the best starter in the league. I know he was only 14-9, but 2.28 ERA, 6 complete games, 228 innings pitched, 207 strikeouts. Was at times unhittable. So, and he's a horse. He's a workhorse. So, and in an era where guys aren't throwing complete games, he threw 6 last year. So,
I think it was interesting. We were high on Sixto. We found out he was hurt last year, and then Sandy goes out there and just shoves for the year.
I know, we're super.
I was thinking about picking Sixto again as my NL rookie.
Yeah, why not, right?
So where are we at? Number 17.
17.
We've got Vlad Guerrero Jr. Yeah, I know he had to bow out of the WBC, but I think he'll come back and be healthy. I think he's already been playing a little bit. They just sent him back to camp. Be out of precautions, and I get that. You want to make sure he's ready for the season, and I think the Blue Jays will be pretty decent this year. Another guy fun to watch. He'll get his average up a little bit. He did about 274 last year. Another just fun guy to watch. And I think the Dominican team would have had a little different outcome if they would have had him there. Going from Vlad Guerrero Jr. to Jamer Candelario was a big
Is it?
big step back.
Real close.
Watch Jamer go off and mash 30 for the Nationals this year.
Well, we watched Isaac Paredes do that for
The Rays. I mean, it's bound to happen. It's just the way they develop players on other teams.
It's just a
Tigers can't do
Tigers problem, guys. It's just a Tigers problem. Just give up.
that. Yeah.
coaching.
It might be.
I'm gonna round out my top 18, since it's gonna work out perfectly. I'm gonna take JT Realmuto, guy who gets thrown out for the most ridiculous things. I was just unbelievable. Power trip. That's all I can say is power trip.
Yeah, I got to be fired.
Yeah. So yeah, really good catcher. He is 32, so I feel like the age kind of caught up on us really fast. But hit 276 last year with 22 home runs, 84 RBIs, 21 stolen bases as a catcher. That's great. That's unheard of. So he's a Gold Glover. He's an All-Star. He's a Silver Slugger. He's whatever you need him to be. One of the best catchers in baseball. So
What is this number? 19?
Yeah.
I'll go with Rafael Devers, third baseman. This kind of goes back to my point. There's a lot of really good third basemen. But I think Devers kind of deserves to be up there with the best. Hit 295 last year, 27 bombs. All-Star. He's only 25. I think that his best years are ahead of him if he can stay healthy. So.
Alrighty. We get 20.
Yeah.
I'm taking another pitcher, Max Scherzer. Obviously, I know he's at the end of his career, but the guy has defied what everybody's thought of him since he came into the big leagues with the strange emotion and things that they think, his body's going to break down and blah, blah, blah. So we know he posted a 2.29 ERA last year in 23 games. It's pretty insane for being upper 30s. So I think you'll see good things. Obviously, him and Verlander, it's all about them staying healthy. If they stay healthy, that's going to be a huge push for the Mets.
Yeah.
All right. 21. I'm always way high on him, but I think he's good too. We're gonna go on a little bit of a run on pitchers. I'm gonna take Corbin Burns for the Brewers. Went 12-8 last year with a sub-3 ERA and just about 250 strikeouts. I think he's definitely a top 5, unanimous top 5 pitcher in the league right now.
Yeah, but he doesn't like the Brewers now.
I didn't see that. Why?
Because he lost his arbitration case and he was pissed.
I actually didn't see that.
Well, he went off and he's just like, yeah, well, I'm just really just feel extremely underappreciated, which I mean, maybe he's right. But
that's the weirdest thing about baseball. You're in a room with your team telling you you're bad, but at the end of the day, you got to go and play for your team and say
they're citing they basically told Corbin Burns in court that he's the reason they didn't make a playoff run.
Oh, he pitched under 3 ERA with like 250 strikeouts.
Yeah.
If your team can't score more than 3 runs,
but that's how they won their arbitration case. So they're trying to, I don't know. It is weird.
That is hard. My gosh.
Who's the judge on that thing?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with DeGrom here.
Making a run on pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, DeGrom's tough because it's like if he's fully healthy, he's the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. But he just has not been able to do that lately. I mean, last year he only started 11 games. And he's getting up there in age. But I think he can still be one of the best pitchers in baseball if he stays healthy. And it would be really cool to see him have a full you see one more full season healthy at least. So I'll take him now.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. 23.
All right, another pitcher I'm picking, Justin Verlander. Obviously an insane ERA last year, 1.75, 28 games. He's absolute workhorse. Yeah, like I said, if him and Max stay healthy, the Mets are going to look really good and they're going to have a great playoff push and do great things. But I don't know. I think they're taking a gamble on some older guys to see if they can lead them to the promised land.
Stay away from jumping around in celebrations and tearing ACLs.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah,
Tough.
that's the other big thing. They don't have that back end
Nope.
lights out anymore. So that's going to be a big hurdle.
I mean,
because I think he would have made my list too if he wasn't gone for the whole year.
he might have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's one of the best closers in baseball. I don't think there's an argument there. I mean, who are they probably going to throw back? It's like David Robertson, Adam Ottavino. Those are probably the guys.
I don't know. I mean, it might be by committee early. I wouldn't be surprised depending on unless somebody emerges if they go out and get somebody, trade for somebody, or I don't know, find somebody at the deadline or probably before.
Okay. I'm going to stop this run on pitchers and take a third baseman, Austin Riley.
Yeah.
273 hitter last year with 38 homers, 93 RBIs. He's a all-star, silver slugger, and can play corner infield and corner outfield. So he's definitely versatile.
I'll take Tatis Jr.
Come back.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't know what to think of him necessarily. He's electric. He's super fun to watch, but is he fully bought in and trying to continue to get himself better? I don't know. He can do some stupid things, especially off the field. But when fully healthy, he's as electric of a shortstop as there is. We'll see if that outfield thing is going to be a thing. I don't really know if they're still thinking about doing that for him. But 2 years ago, he hit 42 bombs, which is pretty nuts, especially at shortstop. So we'll take him here in the top 25.
Well, he's staying away from motorcycles. That's the big
Yeah,
thing.
it's just like, and then didn't he do something after that too in his comeback? Like he didn't I don't know, he hurt himself again by being stupid. So is he fully dedicated to what he wants to do? Is the question. So
Yeah, he's already better than his dad. He can hang that over his head.
well, yeah.
26.
26. I am going with Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
He's had some up and down years. He had 270 last year. I feel like that's pretty decent. Again, with the Mets. I think they'll be pretty decent with that back end piece. So he'll be a big piece to see if he shows up at shortstop. He looks pretty good on the WBC. So we'll see what happens.
So numbers wise, this guy wasn't as good as everyone thought he was going to be, but still had pretty good numbers. Once it Garrett Cole for the Yankees. In his 33 games started last year, he did get a 3.5 ERA, which was about 2.27 above his career ERA at the age of 32. But he still nailed 260 strikeouts and over 200 innings. So still a high-quality pitcher.
I'm going to take Kyle Tucker. Let's see here. What he hit last year? He hit 257 last year, 30 bombs, 5.3 WAR. I think he's average. He's just going to become a better hitter. I think last year was a little bit of his breakout. And again, there's so much. That lineup is so deep, so much protection there for him. I feel like he's going to have a great season. So we'll go with Kyle Tucker.
29.
29. I'm going with Alex Bregman. You know, everybody doesn't love the Astros.
I was gonna
but
say, does this mean I have to take an Astros player here at 30? My goodness.
he's a pretty
Is there
solid.
still one that I'm considering here at 30? Because it's not like it's yeah.
So he's pretty solid. You know, had almost 100 RBIs last year, hit almost 260. Obviously, hit a little better in the trash can era, but you know, they have played straight up now. So average has taken a little hit since then.
Yep.
The Astros team is going to be phenomenal once again. So we'll see how it all shakes out.
Not a
You know,
great
my-
opening day draw for the White Sox, let me tell you. Not a great opening day draw.
I usually when I'm picking 30, I think I pick 30, whether it was the first year we did this or the last year, but I always like to throw in like some rando. I think it was 2 years ago. I picked Shohei Ohtani, and that turned out to be sweet. We snuck him in there. This year, I'm gonna take a flyer on another rookie a rookie last year, and take Spencer Strider.
I like
For the
Strider
Braves.
a lot.
I think Strider is just like Julio and just gonna keep getting better. And if that better, maybe peaks already this year, but I think it's at least bound for a good year this year. 2.67 ERA last year as a rookie, and 20 games started, pitched a couple in relief, but over 200 strikeouts as well. A killer mustache. Just Spencer Strider's the guy.
Yep, I think he's great. I think they limited his innings last year to avoid any kind of injury, but I think when they let him loose fully, Braves have
Any
done
other
it.
guys in your 30 that didn't quite make the cut? I had 4 guys that didn't get named in favor of Scherzer, Tatis Jr., Tucker, and Bregman, who didn't make my top 30, but they're definitely considered. I had Ozzie Albies, Max Muncy, Jose Altuve, and Wander Franco.
Altuve, Correa.
Correa. About Correa, Will Smith, and Tim Anderson was my 30. He was
Will
my
Smith
wild
in there
pick.
too.
I feel he always kills the Tigers. He looked really good in the WBC. The guy plays really hard. Not that I'm a big White Sox fan or anything, but
I think Pete Alonso has a chance to be up there. Xander Bogaerts,
Yeah.
Dansby Swanson, maybe Rodon too, but now he's hurt, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few guys that you start getting the back 20, that back 5 there in that top 30, it could really be a good handful of 15, 20 guys, depending on upside. So, yeah, let's go through the divisions. And obviously, when we land to the AL Central, we'll maybe go a little more in depth on our teams. But let's start with the AL East here, and just kind of work our way down and through the NL. So AL East, who do you guys think is taking the cake here, and who's finishing at the bottom? How do you think this lands?
I think the Yankees are still the cream of the crop. Now, this pitching rotation being just completely decimated this spring is kind of concerning for me, because really I thought they were going to kind of run through it last year, and it ended up being a bit of a tough.
And that was without knowing that Nestor Cortez was going to turn out. Like,
Right.
We didn't know Nestor Cortez would be good last year.
But I mean, when you look at having Cole, Rodon, Cortez, and Severino with a good bullpen, that would be great. But now it's like Cole, Cortez, and like 3 randos out there at least to start the season, because Rodon and Severino are probably not going to start the season healthy. But I still think they have the best lineup easily. Judge, Stanton, Rizzo, Anthony Volpe is a good chance to possibly challenge for Rookie of the Year. So we'll see.
don't forget about Higgy. He's the honorable mention of the WBC that didn't see much time.
He didn't even get an AB, did he?
I think he did
did.
at one of the games they were killing him, but
Did he?
they really just flip-flopped Will Smith and JT Realmuto, and I kind of felt bad.
Like, why is he on the team? Like, what are we doing here?
It was
You
really
gotta
tough.
carry a third catcher.
I
So
think it was.
probably
I
gotta
think
be
it was
safe.
for. I think it was for the sake of diversity, but you got to get some kind of Higashioka on a loaded
His
American
first name
team.
is Kyle. His first name is Kyle.
and he's
That's the
definitely
reason.
more Kyle than he is Higashioka. That's for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree with you. I 100%. I was looking at their pitching. I'm like, yeah, if Garrett Cole continues to, maybe he still had a decent year last year, but if it continues to decline, and Nestor Cortez was just a 1-year wonder. You got to work with Clark Schmidt and Yanni Brito and Domingo Herman while Rodon is hurt. Severino might come up. They have Zach Britton and Frankie Montas there, but it's bad. And like I'm outside of Michael King and Loizaga and Clay Holmes, bullpen's not that great.
You got Efros.
Those are some dudes still back there.
Scott Efros was a little hurt last year, but he pitched well.
I think fully healthy, they still have the best pitching in the league, but it's I don't know, the injuries. Rodon's been hurt a lot in his career.
And I think they're hit. I have them too. So this is why I'm kind of pushing back. I have them second behind the Blue Jays. But I just it's the age too that just jumps out of me for the hitters. Like all these guys, like you take this roster 4 years ago, and it's like, all right, that's nice. Like Donaldson was really good 4 years ago. You know, Gleyber Torres has been on a decline for like 3 years in a row. Rizzo, not the same guy he was with the Cubs. LeMahieu, he's really tall, good second baseman, but he's declining in hitting. Giancarlo Stanton is not. I don't know. I'm not big on him anymore. Aaron Judge is like the only guy that still put up a really solid year. And you got Aaron Hicks, who was like just the laughing stock for the Yankees.
He's a terrible baseball player. Hicks.
Yeah. And Kiner Falefa. You remember him, Blake? Kiner Falefa, your guy that you picked to be rookie of the year last year, but he wasn't really
IKF. They're still pretty high on him. I don't know.
I mean, they got a good one of the best utility guys in Harrison Bader. But to me, the Toronto Blue Jays with Springer, Bichette, Vladdy Jr., Brandon Belt was a nice pickup. I think Alejandro Kirk is a top 5 catcher in the league. Yeah, Matt Chapman's not bad. They picked up Whit Merrifield too. Kevin Kiermaier's there. Dalton Varsho. They've got a pretty good lineup. And Danny Jansen, I think, is actually probably one of the best backup catchers in the league. Kevin Biggio is on the bench for them. Santiago Espinal. And then with the pitching, Manoah's obviously an all-star. Gossman's a good. Chris Bassett. Barrios is listed as their 4th pitcher right now. Is Kikuchi going to be anything? Maybe not, but Jordan Romano, Adam Simber, Yimi Garcia, and if Jin Ryu comes back, I think they expect him back May, June. To me, he's still one of the better pitchers in the league too. So I like Toronto's roster a lot on paper. And I think I don't know. A team loaded with so many old guys kind of scares me off a little bit. It's talented. It's got a lot of names, but I don't think the Yankees, I don't know. Especially like Ben said, with that being so decimated in the pitching department right now, I don't trust them to stay towards the top. And if it's like the Tigers have been in the last couple of years where they get so far behind, I think the Yankees could literally start, 10 games behind 500, like 40 games in. They could literally be like 20 and 30.
I just think they play too many bad teams.
The AL East isn't bad.
In division, Blue Jays are tough. Rays are still going to be good, but like they play too many bad teams. If they struggle, they're going to be around 500 still, in my opinion.
They'll play the Red Sox and Orioles a bunch.
Well, the Orioles are on the up. I actually put the Orioles 3rd, so forgive me there. I have the Rays 4 and the Red Sox 5. So yeah,
it's
I don't know.
Division.
The Orioles, Rushman's good. Gunnar Henderson, he has to turn out, obviously. I hate the back 3 on their lineup. Like they have Kyle Stowers, Adam Frazier, Jorge Mateo. That Austin Hayes, that's a little concerning at the bottom of their lineup. But they have James McCann. That's got to stand for something.
No, I think they got young guys that still got to make it through a season. So.
Right. I think I would agree with you if it was one more year down the road.
Yeah.
Because I just think they need a lot of these guys are going to need more at bats. I think they're going to be pretty good, especially at the end of the season. I think they're going to really shock some teams. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do push for 3rd, because whoever's, depending on how it kind of shakes out, but I think they'll probably still be the 4th best team. But I do like a lot of, like you said, Rushman, Gunnar Henderson, Cedric Mullins is awesome.
And Santander and Mountcastle.
Ryan Mountcastle had a good couple years here. I don't see the pitching there yet.
Pitching's bad, but Grayson Rodriguez could be one of the better ones.
Yeah,
Kyle Gibson's at least pretty consistent. But yeah, you get to Dean Kramer and Cole Irvin, Cal Bradish.
They're not going to be able to string together like
Yeah.
mean, maybe I'm wrong, but they're really not gonna be able to really
Is
string
John
it.
Means going to return back to old form? That's the other
Yeah,
question.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So, yeah. So I don't know. I have a third with the Rays, a close 4, but Yandy Diaz is fine. Wander Franco, Rosarena, Brandon Lowe, Harold Ramirez, Manuel Margot, Isaac Paredes, nice. Jose Siri there at the bottom of the lineup. And then obviously we talked about how McClanahan is one of the better pitchers in the league. Eflin's not bad. But Springs and Rasmussen and Fleming have to hold it together until Glasnow and Yanni Chirinos are ready to go. So
Yep.
But the Rays always have, really nobody on paper.
Yeah,
and
yeah, you're right.
They
You're
have these pitchers come out of nowhere, these position
You're
players that
right.
just get it done. And then, oh look, they're in the playoffs. Oh look,
Right.
they made a push.
Right.
How do you guys expect it to land? I mean, you guys kind of stand at the Yankees and probably the Blue Jays number 2.
I'll go Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays. I'm still gonna go Red Sox actually ahead of the Orioles. I think but
Ben and I are in agreement. Joel's
I like the Orioles. I really do. The thing is, like, this will be a bloodbath of a division. But I think Red Sox, they'll get Chris Sale back. Corey Kluber's back, they added him. Obviously they got rid of Xander Bogaerts. They didn't get rid of him. They lost him. But Devers is one of the better stars. Yoshida should have a pretty good first year. I don't know. If they can stay healthy, I think.
I mean, they got Kenley Jansen and John Schreiber and
yeah. I
Brandon
mean, I think they could kind of string it together here. And I think
I kind of stand with you at the point of I think it's going to be the battle for third is going to be bloody. Because I think really any of these teams, these bottom 3 teams it could be any one of them. I think there's always some crazy lineup change and in the finish, and for the Stars, man, on Orioles purely on potential alone.
All right, I get it. Like I said, I think they're a year away, but I'm not gonna bash you for it. I think it's quite possible.
It's gonna be like Ben picking the Phillies. It's gonna be that crazy.
All right.
Let's get to
pick them for the playoffs. Yeah, then I might say something to you at that point.
All right. AL Central. This is where we could dive in a little bit deeper with our teams, but do you have either of your teams at the top? I don't have the White Sox or the Tigers number 1. I picked the Guardians.
I don't know. This is a tough division because purely based off of on paper, if the White Sox actually perform up to ability, they should win the division again. They should, but I'll pick the Guardians for now.
That's a cop-out answer, man.
Yeah. But I feel like this is the same way last year. He's like, oh, they're looking really good.
I mean, Blake was really high.
100% on paper should win the division, though. If you look at it, if everybody performs the way they should, I mean, they were just a massive disappointment last year. And I think most of that was just getting rid of Tony La Russa, but we'll see if that's actually the case.
I think you're gonna miss. I mean, Crochet will be back probably before Hendricks, but with the non-Hodgkins. But
Hendricks is already throwing.
Is he already throwing? Really?
He's already throwing.
But he's still undergoing treatment, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's like a badass. So
Yeah, he's Australian. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Okay, good for him.
With cancer, that's what he's gonna do.
I was gonna say.
I know he won't be back. He won't be back for a while. So that is gonna be. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna ride with Kendall Graveman probably at the closer role.
Probably some Graveman. I mean, I think they'll just do it by committee for a while.
I think Ronaldo Lopez gets a shot back there.
He might.
Joe Kelly. Can you give it to Joe Kelly?
Joe Kelly's gonna break another pane of glass.
Aaron Bummer, actually, I could see being a decent closer. That's not bad. Jake Diekman.
They have some good arms back there. It's just whether or not anybody can close. No one's going to be Hendricks. So
didn't Brian Shaw close a little bit when they were?
Brian Shaw is not going to make this team.
No,
they already sent him down.
Oh, did they? Okay, all right. Well, screw me then. I mean, Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, Benintendi, Eloy Jimenez, Yohan Moncada, Andrew Vaughn, Yasmani Grandal. I have Oscar Colas batting 8, probably starting in right field opening day. Elvis Andrus. And then obviously talked about Gavin Sheets, Sebi Zavala, Jake Berger, Roman Gonzalez, Hanser Alberto, probably in the bench.
Yep, that'd be my bench. That'd be the team right there for me.
Yeah, and then obviously Cease showed out last year. Cease saved probably kept him in it for a while there, right? Yep. Lance Lynn, And we'll see if he's kind of been up and down in his seasons.
Well, he was great 2 years ago, and then he was hurt last year. So
Blake Cy Young winner prediction with Lucas Giolito last year didn't really work out. Had probably one of his worst years. I think you jinxed him. You put a hex on him or something, but
That's all right. I'm not mad if a White Sox.
Yeah, put a hex on the rest of them if you can. But yeah, Clevenger and Kopech, obviously they're also finishing. I actually really like that rotation.
The key to the rotation needs to perform. Like everybody needs to take that next step. Like Cease has to be as good, if not a little better than last year. Giolito's got to take another step. Kopech's got to be like, this has got to be his Cease year, where it's like, all right, you've been in the rotation for a year, now you got to make that next step. Clevenger, I don't even care what they
He's been doing it for a long time though.
I don't really care what they get out of him. If he's their fifth guy, it is what it is. Lynn, you know what you're going to get out of him. He's a horse. If he stays healthy, he's going to give you probably 13 wins, 14 wins, and a bunch of innings. So they don't have a lefty in the rotation, which is a little concerning to me.
You don't want to get Keuchel back?
No, Keuchel. I'm pretty sure what happened is we left him and one of the I don't know in a field somewhere after one of those games, and no one's heard from him ever since. We shot him around back. We just took him around back and put him out of his misery.
No, he's around, man.
Side.
Yeah, he's just we just let him go.
I was typing up all the rosters, and I was trying to remember where I saw him on now. He's currently a free agent. No, he was on a roster when I was checking it. So he must have just gotten released again.
He is not. There's no chance anybody.
The guy can only throw 87, 88.
Someone might pick him up to eat innings.
He was just on the Rangers. He was on the Rangers this spring.
Yeah,
well, the Tigers don't need more arms, so we'll throw him in the pen, or he'll be our number 5 Willie Peralta guy.
I mean, we could probably use another lefty. I think the Tigers are pretty much sitting around 2 lefties right now in that bullpen.
Yeah, Joey Wentz is big lefty.
If they put him back in the bullpen too. Otherwise, it's like Tyler Alexander's not even a guarantee to make that team right now. I think Chase and Shreve is our only other one. But yeah, Central, I do have the Guardians first with Quan, Ahmed Rosario, Jose Ramirez, Josh Bell as a pickup, Josh Naylor, Oscar Gonzalez had a really nice end of the year last year. Andres Jimenez, Mazzino at catcher. That's an upgrade from Hedges, I feel like. And then Miles Straub at 9. The bench to me sucks. Will Brennan, Bo Naylor, Gabriel Arias. To me, that's a terrible bench. But they get Bieber, Savali, Quantrill, Plesac, and then Hunter Gaddis is showing as their 5 until Tristan McKenzie's ready to come back. But Clase, top 3 unanimous bullpen guy in the league right now. Karinchak is there. Sam Hentges, Trevor Stephen, Elijah Morgan, Daniel Norris. So,
lefty.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, he shaves his beard with an axe. What do you want from the man? So, so I have Cleveland first. I do have the White Sox too. A lot of people are high on the Twins maybe being a sleeper team. I do have the Twins 3 on mine. We'll see if Gallo makes his career comeback there with Correa, Buxton, Kepler, Jose Miranda, Trevor Larnach, Christian Vasquez, Nick Gordon, and Michael A. Taylor comes from the Royals. Jorge Polanco on the bench with Alex Kirilov and Royce Lewis. But rotation, Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan, Tyler Mahle, and Kenta Maeda, a bunch of 3.95 ERA guys, just so middle of the road pitchers. Yeah. So it means it could be consistency. And as long as they get, Yohan Duran is probably another really good reliever in the league right now. I just don't know if I like Griffin Jackson, Caleb Thielbar along with that. They don't have a great bullpen to me. So I have them at 3.
Okay. I would agree. So I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna pick the Sox going 1. I think they make the turnaround. I'll go Guardians 2. 3, I'll go with the Twins.
You're 4 and 5.
4, I'll go with the Royals. And I'm gonna pick the Tigers last, and it's not because I'm on here.
Is it Vinny Pasquantino? Is that what it is?
It is Vinny. It is Vinny P right here. No, I do. I mean, I don't like the Royals. I think they have a good young core right now, though, of position players. Bobby Witt Jr. is good. Pasquantino is pretty he showed some stuff. Nick Prado, MJ Melendez, you know, Brady Singer, although he was horrible in the World Baseball Classic, is a good piece in the rotation. Zach Greinke is about 128 years old, but he's going to be their opening day starter. Somehow he's still getting it done. You know, they have some arms that I do like, but they're still many years away. They're not that far. Them and the Tigers are not very different. Other than I do like the Tigers' younger pitching better, but
They all get hurt. It's worthless.
yeah, it's kind of worthless at this point. It's kind of prove it to me at this point. Like I'm kind of out on Mize at this point. Not necessarily out on him, but I just don't think he is what he
Not
was.
who we thought they were.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a 4 or 5 guy, and obviously he's hurt.
Scooble's
I like
hurt.
Riley Green a lot. I think he's probably the gem of what they have from a young position player or pitcher standpoint. We'll see what Torkelson is. I still have my doubts on as far as consistency, but I think he's going to start hitting for more power this year for sure. The question is, what do you get out of Matt Manning and Scooball? And like, I don't know. I've seen enough of Scooball to know he's going to be a pretty good arm, like, and can look really, really good at times, and can also look like can look pretty horrendous at times too. He's pretty inconsistent. And Manning, who I think actually has the highest ceiling of all three of those guys, he's so inconsistent.
He was awful this spring.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a second pitch at times. And it's
he did Justin Turner in the face. He was doing fine, and then
now he's afraid he's going to kill somebody. So, and he might kill somebody. So, Alex Lange is disgusting in the bullpen. That's definitely somebody that you can rely on to get outs. But I really can't see this lineup doing a lot here consistently.
I got the Tigers last too, so I'm right there with you.
It's not because they I don't know. There's no stockpiling of prospects. You're not seeing that happen. You know what I mean? There's, unfortunately for the Tigers, it's like, you felt really good about those 3 pitchers, right? Coming on up through, and now they all get hurt or disappoint a little bit. And it's like, what do you have now? And okay, you felt good about Torkelson and Green, but it's like, Torkelson kind of disappointing, right? Actually extremely disappointing last year. Green flashes, but it's like he wasn't there enough, right? Because he got hurt too. So it's like, I get the injury thing. You can't really plan on that as an organization or a team or anything like that. So there is a little bit of a snake bite feeling. But there's no, like, you look at some of these teams that really have rebuilt and really kind of changed the way they've done it, and they've stockpiled these players, right? So they could overcome 2 or 3 injuries if it happened. The Tigers just haven't done that, and they kind of put all their eggs in. Really, it was the Casey Mize basket, and that just has not worked out. Now they do have some really young guys that they've drafted in recent drafts that might 2 years down the road be something, but I don't. These next couple of years are still going to be pretty rough.
The problem is
I don't have a lot of faith in this rebuild at all. Scott Harris has been incredibly disappointing, and maybe he just has his hands are maybe a little tied a little bit, but I did have the Tigers
by
last
some
time.
terrible decisions by the previous regime too, and I don't know if you can blame Harris all the way, but like the Cabrera contract should have never happened. There's multiple contracts that they're still paying for that should have just never happened. It's just, I mean, they're handcuffed. So
I did have the Tigers last, but it's like a staple for me to be different. So I'm going to move them to 4.
It wouldn't
I think it's
surprise
going to be close. I think it's going to be close anyway. I think they're both probably not great this year. I do expect improvement from some. Like, I think Riley Green actually he's done really well this spring too. He's hit the ball hard consistently. And then on top of that, I think just if Torque possibly gets worse and might be one of the better busts of all time. I think the hard thing for me is like this Miggy roster spot that he's just going to be there barely hitting 202 and might hit 5 home runs this year.
why is he on the team? I'm sorry.
Because they want to do this fancy send out like they did with Pujols, but Pujols was still hitting 20 home runs. Like, It makes sense. Yeah. Is Kerry Carpenter like a flash in the pan? Is he going to be scary Kerry?
Yeah, maybe.
Scope has been
He's
incredible.
terrible. I think he's going to get cut.
You think
I
Scope's
think
getting
they're going to
cut?
release him through the halfway through the season. He's done.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I think he makes open day rosters.
Yeah,
But
no, he makes open the roster. I think like he hits a $150 and it gets to July and they're like, this guy, like we'll put
he may
anyone.
very well be out if Tyler Nevin comes back from IR. Like I think that's the other thing is like they get Tyler Nevin back or maybe Kreidler just continues to kill it, and I think they use
Scopes.
him. Andy Ibanez is another guy that might make it, and I think the Tigers for whatever reason like Zach Short. To me, it's
I
like
don't-
the Lions.
What?
It's like the Lions
Why?
liking Matt Nelson. Like, why do you keep some of these guys around? They're just wastes. But obviously, then they traded Zach McKinstry, and I don't think he has any options left on his contract. So he's pretty much guaranteed to make the team unless they DF. He's going to go through waivers if he gets cut. So he seems like a guarantee. Baez, you hope he improves. You did a 6-year deal for like 140 million. Is Austin Meadows ever going to get his power back? He might hit 290, but he couldn't hit a home run. He still hasn't hit one this spring. Nick Maton has actually looked really good this spring. And Matt Vierling's got speed. I kind of like him as a rotational platoon outfielder that might kind of play the Robbie Grossman role that we had for so long. But yeah, Eric Haas and Jake Rogers, not a bad duo at catcher. I like that a little bit. But it's a team with a lot of concerns, especially after Erod's looked good this spring. Boyd might still have it. Is Spencer Turnbull a potential comeback player of the year? I think so. But and Manning just being as wild and consistent as Wentz, and Lorenzen's still hurt. Michael Lorenzen comes back. That might be a nice thing. But Skubal and Brisk, yeah, it's Mize. There's so many missing pieces yet, and it's just like the Tigers, even under Scott Harris, look like they're years behind. It might be another GM behind it. So I think that's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Tigers fan, so I don't really get it, but I just don't see how like it's got to be frustrating. At least with like this is the one Detroit sport where like I don't really see it getting any better and I mean, I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for them right now, unfortunately for Tigers fans. Baseball's weird though. I mean, you could have a team that just figures it out for a season too, a little bit, but they just aren't. There's no progress being made, and that's the biggest concern. I think is the development. I think they've got to figure out a way to. I mean, I don't think they devoted enough time into figuring out how to develop their younger guys before they needed to get them up to the big leagues. Because like, although Torkelson was putting up some big numbers in Double-A, he wasn't great in Triple-A. Some of these pitchers didn't perform all that great. Mize had a pretty good minor league career, but there were some injury concerns with him even coming out of college, right? So some of these things I feel like they have to address those before like just figuring out how to get better players. Like you got to develop some of these players before. That's my biggest problem with the White Sox right now. We got a great lineup and I think really on paper, really good team, but like there's not a whole lot of development going on below that at the moment. So you're not going to sustain anything or be able to build anything without that. So
I think this year they're just going to try some young guys and see what happens. Obviously, Biggie's still there. I think they know they're not going to go anywhere. They got to get him off the contract, and I hope the Illich family's ready to spend some money next year because we need it. We don't.
Yeah, it just feels so far away if they don't even throw the checkbook at anyone. Like that's.
Think about 10 years ago when you had Verlander, Scherzer, Fister, Anibal Sanchez, like
Porcello.
And Porcello. Sorry, you had a phenomenal rotation. Like now we're just like, oh, this guy was okay in the minors, and he's highly rated.
Mikey Montauk, I'm so excited.
Right. It's not. I don't know. Like it's one of those things where it's pretty. It sucks for Tigers fans though, because I think I mean, 2 years ago, you were probably pretty excited about the rebuild.
Well, because with Nico Goodrum playing every day, they had 77 wins in 2021.
Right.
Like, I think that was crazy what AJ Hinch did that. AJ Hinch, you got this team to 77 wins? That was like 15 above what anybody else expected.
Right.
So I think we thought that they could have made the most out of things, and then for some reason they were just horrendous last year. And I think it was because some of their picks aren't working out. Mize and Scooble kind of was the big piece from last year for the most part, but like, Torque was bad and Mize was bad and Manning wasn't consistent enough. And it was rough. It's frustrating. Yeah, I agree with Ben. I think that's the one Detroit team that just seems so far off.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Red Wings are probably getting pretty close. They were pushing for playoffs this year.
And I like Steve Yzerman as
the Pistons suck, but at least there's a plan, right? I mean,
especially with another top 5 pick.
They're trying to lose on purpose, so there's at least a plan. And the Lions, I mean, we could be talking playoffs next year. So
yeah,
but the Tigers, nope.
Unless another surprise 77 win season. I don't
Still
see that.
Still be possibly 4th place.
We've got possibility to get some hits 1 through 4, and then from there it drops off. I know we'll go over that.
It's just not
opening day lineups, but I'm just like, oh. And I think Jake Rogers has been my best. He's been the hope, I guess. He did pretty well in the spring. He showed some apple power. Watched him a couple of times. I was like, yeah, he's looking pretty good for.
He had Tommy John last year, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think he hasn't been like a year and a half. So we'll see.
All right. Well, I think we really got to dive into our team specifically, so I think we could probably skim through some of these other divisions a little bit faster. But the AL West here next, are we pretty unanimous that the Astros are running away with this one?
Yeah. I like the Mariners.
I do. I have the Mariners too. Yeah. I do have the Rangers 3, the Angels 4, and then Oakland, I think, might be the worst team in baseball this year.
Oakland is just a joke.
Did you see that stat about the WBC had more fans than Oakland had all year?
Yes.
It doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
It's a joke.
Oakland, like, Oakland fans were over it last year. It was so.
Are they moving to Vegas here soon or what?
I think they need to get out of there. I mean, the Coliseum's falling apart too. It's just a disaster.
Yeah. New groundskeeping. They need everything. But the A's, I was looking through their roster and I'm like, I don't remember a lot of these names. Like, it's a bunch of Lars Newbars, basically. Just who are these names? Like, I saw Anthony Kemp and Ryan Noda and Estuary Ruiz and Nick Allen and Connor Capel. Like, to me, those, I mean, I know a lot of baseball players, and I'm like, I had to think for a minute. I feel like I've seen that name somewhere, but it's like nothing has jumped out to me.
I don't really understand what they're doing because, like, Christian Pache, they traded him, and now they're non-tendering him. They traded him. And then, like, they did get JJ Bleday, who was terrible last year in time up, but he's a big-time prospect.
The Astros, like, back-end utility player, Ledmus Diaz, is batting number 2 for them, more than likely. Like,
and I think he's a pretty good player, but he's not like a starter, like, top-end guy.
He's a great utility guy.
I think Zach Geloff will come up for him. I actually played with him for the Growlers, which is kind of cool. But he'll be. I mean, he's got a chance to play for a really bad team, so we'll see how he does.
They got Shintaro Fujinami.
They're going to be a team that you see a lot of their like rookies come up pretty quickly, would be my guess.
I mean, I do like James Caprillion a little bit. I think he's a pretty solid arm. And out of the bullpen, Danny Jimenez and Urias Familia, not bad. Trevor May, Paul Blackburn could be back in the rotation after their injuries, but otherwise, Kyle Muller is, I think, their opening day starter. That might be the worst opening day starter in the league. So
it's pretty clear it is. Yeah, it's not even close.
So, to me, Astros, that even when they get McCullers back and Forrest Whitley, like, it just seems like they're loaded in pitching because they already have, Valdez, Javier, Urquidy. Luis Garcia, how's he going to do on that pitch clock with his whole windup is like time?
He's modified it.
He had to change it. He had to change it because it was a balk anyway, the way it was before.
Yeah, he modified it, but he could have done it in the WBC because it was fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I haven't seen that he modified it, but I thought that for a long time. I'm like, ooh, the pitch clock rule, is that really going to get on Luis Garcia? But
so it was interesting though, because I was at the USA Canada game and they did have a pitch clock running at the WBC games.
But they didn't enforce
it. I think it was more for the guys that were like, hey, I want to kind of at least adhere to the rule or try because I got to be ready for this in a couple weeks.
It was just funny because, like, you could tell some of the guys were just like, nope, going back to my old, And I'm like, man, guy, like I figured all the MLB guys would go with it, but like a lot of them just did not. Like they went back to taking their time, and it was interesting.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
think
know where they donated all the bases. Like, where did all the bases go?
Right.
Africa.
Right.
No, we need
Everything
an
gets
idea
donated to
of
Africa.
seats. Like, come on.
Yeah, so the Mariners I have here at number 2, but I think it's a really good lineup all the way down. I mean, they got Colton Wong, Julio Rodriguez, Ty France, Teoscar Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, Jared Kelenic, AJ Pollock, and JP Crawford. And like LaStella, Dylan Moore, Tom Murphy, Sam Haggerty on the bench. But their pitching, like Luis Castillo is good. Obviously, we know Logan Gilbert, Robbie Ray, Marco Gonzalez, and George Kirby might be a guy that could break out this year. Bullpen is their concern. I think they got Andres Munoz, who's probably a top 5 reliever in the league, and Paul Sewell's pretty good, Diego Castillo. But after that, not big on their bullpen. Texas, for me, the rotation's good now. Getting DeGrom, Eovaldi's there. Martin Perez was good for the Rangers already last year. John Gray and Andrew Heaney are just kind of the epitome of consistency. Dominic Leone, Jose Leclerc, Dane Dunning, Jake Odorizzi, Ian Kennedy, Brock Burke in that bullpen. And then obviously we know that lineup's good. Maybe Jace Young's older brother Josh is a potential rookie of the year candidate here for the Rangers. He's probably going to be batting top 6 for that team. Robbie Grossman is there. I know that means a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then obviously do you have the Angels 3rd or 4th? How do you guys have land that?
3rd.
I have them 4th, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're 3rd.
Yeah. Big
I kind of went back
WBC.
and forth on 3rd and 4th with the Rangers, Angels, but
So Trout and Otani are going to get everybody together and say, "Hey, we really enjoyed that. Let's go."
It'd be
I don't know
cool.
if it's that easy. I don't think it's that easy in 160.
They got to convince the front office to make some moves.
Yeah, I'm sure it
I
feels
just don't
good.
know what they can do. I mean, I don't know. It's just that
Their
team's
pitching
stuff.
is so far behind. Like it's Otani and Sandoval. Like Tyler Anderson's not bad, but like Reed Detmers and Jose Suarez is your other
Even
pitchers. That's
Sandoval. If Sandoval's your number 2, if Sandoval's your number 4, you feel good about it. But like he's
yeah,
your number 2, like really, like he's like a
yeah.
12 guy maybe.
Well, that's because Tukey Toussaint's also disappointing, but he's over there. I was actually really big on Tukey coming out for the Braves originally, but he's kind of been disappointing. But yeah, AL West, I've got Astros, Mariners, Rangers, Angels, A's.
Yep. Yep.
All right, let's skim over to the NL East. Who do you guys have number 1 here?
Braves.
Yep.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh! Is he taking the Phillies?
Yeah, I was thinking the Phillies.
Yeah, Phillies are my number
Let's
2.
go on Phillies, Braves, Mets. But
Ben can't go Phillies 2 years in a row. That's for sure.
yeah, he can't
Yeah,
take
I mean,
that.
I thought about it, but I still know how the Harper deal. And I thought about going Mets, but then now Edwin Diaz, you know.
Yeah, I moved him down to 2 for that. I had him at the top. I'll be honest. I had the Mets at the top.
Yeah. And
With-
Reese Hoskins is also just like ripped his knee apart in a non-contact thing for the Phillies, so I just can't take him again.
I was surprised. Is Derek Hall actually supposed to be that good? They expect him to bat 4.
Derek Hall. Yeah, I don't
for
know.
the Phillies. I was
Maybe.
like,
I mean, Reese
"Dang,
Hoskins
okay."
was probably gonna bat 4, but now he can't. He can't
Well,
even stand.
really, after that, you probably who else can you? I mean, other one, Bryce
Put
Harper
Trey
comes back.
Turner at 4. He's a power hitter.
Yeah,
Right.
he gets nukes.
Yeah,
He went
Hit
back to
stairs.
spring training and had a nuke too. I was like,
Yeah.
geez.
That was his first AB. I'm like, man,
He's like, crap, this doesn't count. It's
guy's on a heater.
I think the Phillies probably have the best bullpen with Sir Anthony Dominguez, Craig Kimbrell, Jose Alvarado, Corey Nebel, Gregory Soto, and Connor Brogdon.
there's the great lefty, Gregory Soto doesn't know where it's going, but it's going 100 miles an hour. So watch out.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about him. I think
That
if
was
anyone
the
should be
best
worried
pitcher
about,
that the Tigers had for the bullpen, and they just said bye.
yeah, I just with the Braves, I think obviously they have Fried and Strider and Charlie Morton, but like Jared Schuster and Dylan Dodd are their 4 and 5 right now. until Kyle Wright and Mike Soroka are coming back. In fact, I think Soroka's not even hurt, but he did very poorly in spring, and I think he's already a borderline roster guy for them. So they sent him to AAA. They do have AJ Minter and Joe Jimenez. So there's a name. And Raisel Iglesias is another one of the better bullpen guys.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think the Braves are loaded. Obviously, Michael Harris was the rookie of the year for the NL last year. We already know about Ozzie Albies, Marcell Ozuna, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Acuna Jr., and Travis d'Arnaud are some of the better players in each of their positions. So they're really good up and down that lineup. That's why to me, it's the Braves are 1. I do have the Phillies 2. The Mets, I have 3. But that could switch. I just, when does age? Father Time is undefeated. When does that take over Scherzer and Verlander?
I don't know. I think they still have a good year. I think losing Diaz hurts. Their lineup is still pretty loaded with Alonso and Lindor, McNeil, Nimmo, Marte,
Vogelbach.
And Cohen's going to go out there and spend some money if he thinks that it's going to help the team. So they have an owner that cares about it, and wants to be good and wants to win. So I think they'll fix the problems that injury brings, but I still have them 3rd.
They picked up another Japanese player, right? Kodai Senga, I think, is expected to pitch for them. So who's your 4? Nationals are terrible. So probably 4 is the Marlins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep. I like Jazz Chisholm, and
and obviously Alcantara is the best pitcher in baseball, I think. But
but other than that, I like nobody else.
Happy.
I'm
happy that they. I was going to say I'm happy they took Luis Ariz out of the AL Central. Personally,
I despise him.
Yeah,
but I feel bad for anybody on the Marlins. So
yeah, it's just not a good team.
They've got. I'm not like I would take this lineup over the Tigers. I'm not gonna lie, but. Because they get Chisholm, Arias, Jorge Soler, Avisail Garcia, Jean Segura, Joey Wendell, Jacob Stallings is a good catcher. They get Yuli Gurriel, Jesus Sanchez, but Jose Iglesias is also there right now.
What was everybody's take on Jazz Chisholm was on the front of MLB The Show 23, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They just throw a dude on there now. Javi Baez was 2020.
Yeah, but he's pretty popular.
Josh Donaldson
they had recently won a World Series-ish, not that long before that.
Yeah, but Jazz Chisholm is like nobody. If you just put that picture in front of like 50% of baseball fans, they'd be like, "I have no clue who that is."
That's true.
You're right.
Marlins. That's why.
So it's like, come on, give him
the Marlins were the team back when like Josh Beckett, Dontrell Willis, Miguel Cabrera were all.
Had 2 good years. 2. Exactly 2.
AJ Burnett was there. Yeah, that's fun.
Was it Mike Lowell there too?
Mike Lowell was there. Yeah. I feel like
Luis Castillo.
Yeah, they had some fun guys. Reggie Abercrombie. Remember Reggie Abercrombie?
Okay. Mel Cabrera. That's before Mel Cabrera developed an alcohol addiction.
It was. He was skinny and he could play left field.
Was.
Yeah, but Washington is bad. Joey Meneses. Didn't he play for Mexico this year? He cranked. But
he might be fun to watch, but yeah.
Yeah. They get Dominic Smith and Jamer Candelario. CJ Abrams could still be okay.
Could be one of those teams that might be fun to watch some of their young guys.
Patrick Corbin was one of the most disappointing pitchers last year. But they got Mackenzie Gore in the Juan Soto trade, and Anibal Sanchez is there. Yohan Idon is there. Stephen Strasburg, Carl Edwards Jr. So it's
not a good team.
Not a good team. So the NL Central. Who's your number 1 here?
Cardinals.
Yeah.
I think it's not even that close.
It's not even close.
I pull up.
I think the Brewers are next, which they have a good rotation, but I don't think they'll score very many runs. I'm actually going to put the Pirates 3rd. I like some of their young guys a lot. I'll put the Cubs 4th, and I'll put the Reds 5th. although the 3 through 5 could be interchangeable.
I
Cubs are not good.
Yeah,
So.
I mean either of the Reds, but I do think Jonathan India is poised for a comeback year, breakout year, whatever you call it. I think I wrote him down as one of those. I do like a couple of their bullpen. Got River San Martin, I really do like. TJ Antoine is good. Lucas Sims is not bad. Ian Gibbot. There's a couple pitchers in there that I think are fine. Hunter Green maybe could still be one of the better pitchers in the league too.
A great arm.
But yeah, obviously even it's bad otherwise from I don't like really anyone in that lineup. Tyler Stevens is a pretty decent catcher. Obviously Votto, we know who that is, but there you see decline in him already. Will Myers, but it's bad. So I have the Reds 5th as well. I do have the Pirates 4th, but the Pirates did a lot of stuff to like make that lineup not look disgusting. Like O'Neal Cruz, fun to watch. Brian Reynolds is solid. Andrew McCutcheon's 100, but he's good. Carlos Santana's 100. G-Man Choi, not bad. Key Brian Hayes, not bad. Connor Joe had a pretty nice year too, as backup catcher. And they do have Kanan Smith and Jigba on the bench. They get another 100-year-old man, Rich Hill, in the rotation. So I'm surprised Rich Hill's still pitching. He's got to be 45, right? Is he Jamie Moyer at this point?
He's older than Zach Greinke, so.
Wow. He is.
But yeah, the rotation's not great. Mitch Keller, Rich Hill, Vinny Velasquez. As you know who Vinny Velasquez is, right? Vince Velasquez from the White Sox. He's over there. Roansy Contreras and Johan Oviedo. David Bednar was on the U.S. team. Not that great, but he's their best bullpen guy. Sure. I have the Cubs 3rd, but that's
I think anywhere between 3 and 5 for those bottom 3 wouldn't surprise me. I like some of the guys on the Cubs.
Cubs have no catching.
Yeah, there's no catcher.
Tucker Barnhart and Jan Gomes, like that's too burnout.
That's not good. I mean, Swanson is a nice pickup. Nico Horner and Swanson, that's a great like defensive.
Jeter's gonna make a name for himself in Chicago. He needed.
But can Cody Bellinger stop being bad?
Trey Mancini.
I don't think any team would have been disappointed in getting Cody Bellinger. I was hoping the Tigers would gamble and throw some money at him. Like it's a 1-year deal. If he's good, you trade him away at the deadline, or you try to extend him. Like if he's terrible, then you spent 1 year on him and come on to the next.
He was fun because he's probably still going to hit like 30 home runs at least.
And they have my breakout player of the year prediction from last year. They had Nick Madrigal, who did nothing. But
yeah,
they had Michael Fulmer.
You got Ian Happ. It'll be all right.
Michael Fulmer was good, right? And they have Drew Smiley, just a couple big Tigers names right there.
What is it, Assad? That was the guy that pitched for Mexico, right?
Yeah,
they do have him.
Adbert Elsley.
So
yeah, the NL Central, not super fun, but yeah. How about let's finish it here with the NL West. What do you think? Who's winning this one?
Dodgers.
Padres.
You going Padres? All right.
Yeah.
So we're going Dodgers. At least one more year. I just think it's funny when the Padres just continue to spend $1.5 gazillion and then just don't win. It's just funny to me.
I think this year they're gonna finally put it together, but we'll see.
Give me the Diamondbacks.
Don't.
Couldn't say that with a straight face. No. I'm gonna pick the Dodgers for one more year, and then the Padres, number 2. But I'm really thought about taking the Diamondbacks actually up to 3rd because I don't like the Giants roster much this year. And the Rockies roster didn't do much. They've got Josh Rojas has been pretty solid. Lourdes Gurriel is there. Alec Thomas played for Team Mexico, right? Nick Ahmed, Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Jake McCarthy, Christian Walker. They've got some dudes. And I like their first, 3 guys. Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, I think will be good. Madison Bumgarner.
I don't know. Merrill Kelly sucked in the big game. All I'm going to say is Merrill Kelly was bad in the big game.
He was very disappointing.
But he's
But
never been there before. That's
I
the
know.
hard thing. They're throwing these guys who've never been in a playoff situation. You know, it's like, oh, he's supposed to be good, so let's just throw him in there.
Give him a shot here. I'm like, can we put somebody else in? We could have definitely had somebody else throw that game.
we had to have another pitcher but it's probably just the contracts, and teams are like, don't you dare throw more than 50 pitches in 3 days. Like, I mean, it's just teams were really nitpicky on controlling how like especially Mark DeRosa was playing some of his guys. But
So
Andrew
Diamondbacks, a big point to make is big countries there.
Schaefer.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Chafin is basically annulled when you still keep Mark Melanson. It's just a moot point. I do like Reyes Maranta. I do like him. Noel Ramirez, and Miguel Castro with Kevin Ginkel. It's not a bad bullpen. Tommy Henry is over there with Carlos Vasquez and Caleb Barragar. But it's
I played with him.
don't they have Evan Longoria too, I think, with the Diamondbacks now.
Yeah.
Not that moves a ton, but Carson Kelly was a good catcher. Pavin Smith wasn't bad. I do remember Sergio Alcantara with the Tigers. They've got a few guys, but again, it's the Dodgers and the Padres and just about nobody else.
Rockies are really bad. They're gonna, in my opinion, they're going to contend with their A's for worst team in baseball. My guess.
I could just see the Giants also being terrible this year. Like, obviously they've got a few names like Lamont Wade, Jock Peterson, Conforto, Yastrzemski, Brandon Crawford. But pitching,
They figured out a way to somehow they figured out a way to be good.
Well, it's because guys that I never thought would be good or even above average would be like Logan Webb and Alex Cobb had really good years last year. But Manaea was disappointing. Stripling was not that great. Alex Wood wasn't the Alex Cobb that they have. So I just don't expect like a repeat of what they did last year. So I kind of expect the Giants to fall a little bit here, which can maybe make space for the Diamondbacks. So I think the Diamondbacks moved to third, the Giants 4, and the Rockies are horrendous. I like some of the names in their lineup. They got Profar, they got Chris Bryant, Blackman, Crone.
I only like Chris Bryant in that lineup anymore.
Not even Charlie Blackman?
I mean, they might put up some numbers because they play in like helium inflated baseballs there, but like, I mean, they're not good. I mean,
if former Tiger All-Star Jose Urena there, that's huge.
Yeah, okay. Their pitching stinks. It gets worse because of where they play.
And I have Austin Gomber's phone number, so that's a big one.
All right. Ryan McMahon's pretty good too. I'll give you that.
Forget about Freeland.
Do you forget about Freeland? And I don't think even Freeland's their number one. I think Herman Marquez is probably their first.
He is, and he was bad last year. So
yeah, Daniel Bard. I remember him on Team USA. He was terrible.
He might have been their worst pitcher.
He was their worst pitcher, I think. Dinelson Lamet was okay. Brad Hand, not bad. Ulysse Chassin, not bad. And then
all these guys you're naming are gonna have like 4.5 ERAs. I'm telling you.
I know. And Antonio Senzatella too. He's it's
not a good team.
It's not a good team, but I think the NL West might be the worst division this year. I mean, it would, even with two teams that are,
it's extremely top heavy. So like the bottom 3 are pretty terrible, but the top 2 are.
But is there another team that you think has 3 really bad teams in their division? Like,
the NL Central is not great.
Yeah, I don't know that they have 2 powerhouses. That's the problem. I don't know if the Guardians and White Sox are as good as the Padres and Dodgers.
That's true. AL West has the worst.
The AL Central has the Tigers and Royals, but they don't have another team that I think the Twins, White Sox, or Guardians could win either one of those.
All win the division. Yeah, the NL Central is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're the other one, I would say. But yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Could be the worst division at least top to bottom.
All right. Well, let's go to our ALCS and LCS World Series matchups, and then we'll finish with our award predictions, and then I'll give you the 6 names for stats, and well, that's how we'll conclude. But who are you guys taking for ALCS matchups?
Man,
I have the Blue Jays over Astros.
I'm gonna go Astros over Yankees right now.
Okay.
I've got Blue Jays over Astros too.
Nice. I don't look so bad no more. All right, good. Because you guys were saying the Yankees were going to finish first in the division. Like the Blue
That doesn't
Jays.
mean they're going anywhere.
That's true. They
We've
choke in the
seen
playoffs.
that.
We
They
have
choke in
seen
the
this before. We have seen this before with them.
The NLCS. I have the Braves over Dodgers.
I have, man. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Braves over the Dodgers as well.
With Padres over Phillies.
Okay.
All right, Blake, in your matchup of the Blue Jays and Padres, who wins that one?
Got Padres in 6.
All right.
Seen good things from Padres this year. Gotta take a pick.
Got the Braves and I don't remember what you said. Braves over White Sox?
No. Braves over Astros, Braves in 7.
I have Braves over Blue Jays in 6.
Let's say 7. Why not? Could be fun.
Makes it more exciting when you go to game 7 anyway.
Yeah.
World Series MVP.
Shoot, I picked the Braves, so I gotta go there. That's tough.
I picked the Braves. I'm taking Austin Riley.
I'm gonna go with part of me wants to go with it. Give me Acuna.
Yeah. You know, like say Mike Soroka or something.
Well, I thought about picking a pitcher, but I just don't know. They're not gonna ride a guy like Bumgarner a few years
Especially
ago.
Soroka. It's just kind of shit.
They're not gonna ride him, and they're not gonna ride Strider. He's too young. To do that to him. Reed's too young. Wright's too young. They're not gonna do that.
All right, Blake, who are you taking?
I've got Manny Machado.
All right.
We're really betting all in here.
All in.
Padres, so
You've
we'll
got
see.
the all slid it all in. All right.
Gotta dare to be different here.
All right. Well, I don't care if I finish last in this, but whoever wants to blurt it out first, who is AL MVP? Remember, there's no repeats. That's a rule.
Judge.
I got Ohtani.
AL MVP. Oh yeah, I had Judge. What would be my next? Give me a second. We'll go to NL and then we'll come back. I got Trey Turner. So
You took mine.
I get first pick on that one.
NL MVP. I mean, I'm going Braves. I should probably pick the Braves. Give me Acuna.
I'm going Vlad Guerrero Jr. for AL.
There you go. You guys took my guy, so I'm gonna take like a major sleeper. Let's say that Sandy Alcantara gets the Cy Young and the MVP for the NL.
Out of nobody.
You already put NL Cy. You're going Alcantara. Okay.
Which is actually not true. I wrote down Spencer Strider, but
Yeah, I'm taking Strider. So
all right. We take it, Blake. NL.
For Cy Young NL?
Yeah.
I've got Nola, so we'll see. A big contract year for him.
Yeah, he's good pitcher for a contract for sure. Not bad. AL
Cease.
Cy. Nice. I had ceased. Comment.
I got DeGrom. So yeah,
He should cease. All right.
Should have won last year if he was on a better team. He might have won it last year. Actually, Verlander probably still deserved it. But
that breaking ball is the best in baseball, I think, in my opinion. But let me see if I can. All right.
Going with Matt Manning, aren't you?
It's tempting. Is he going to get his mojo back? I think the secret is hit Justin Turner in the face one more time and it like reverses.
Yeah, just get it out of the way. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
happen one more time, man.
Come on,
Dude.
Erod.
Dude, I'm shooting for the stars on this. I am going to go Luis Castillo for the Mariners.
All right, I like that pick actually. It's just
He's plus 1,800 odds on Vegas.
yeah, it's not bad.
A little deep, but I'll do it because yeah, I cease. So AL Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
I'm taking Oscar Colas, White Sox.
Colas is a good pick because he's probably gonna break with the team.
Got Anthony Volpe.
Volpe's a great pick because he's
That leaves
also,
you a pretty good one because I went back and forth on another guy.
I don't know, man.
Hunter Henderson was my other option for the Orioles.
I'm gonna go with Grayson Rodriguez.
Ooh, another Orioles guy. All right, that's good. You guys are gonna love me for NL. I think I went plus 20,000 odds for Rookie of the Year for NL, but I'm sticking with it. It's a Reds player, so you aren't taking him. Go ahead, say your stuff.
Yeah, I'm not taking a Reds pick. Tell you
I've
that.
got Jordan Walker.
Jordan Walker is the hot
Jordan
one right now.
Walker.
Yeah, he's the hot pick.
He's a good pick there. I don't know. Somebody give me let me see. Skip me, you go first.
Okay. I'm taking Ellie De La Cruz for the Reds. And I'm feeling good. He's a mon. He's 6'5", like 230. He's a big guy. I think he's got an injury right now, along with Christian Encarnacion. So I think, I don't think he'll be there, opening day, but I think probably come, end of May, early June, Ellie De La Cruz will be there, and I think he's going to go on a tear.
Okay. Give me Corbin Carroll.
It's a good one. Yep. Corbin Carroll's another good pick. AL manager, Scott Servais, Mariners.
I've got Rocco Baldelli.
Dusty.
Let's see him up.
Dusty. There you go.
Give it to him one more time. He's gonna die soon.
He
Got the
doesn't,
black
have
glove.
doesn't have much left.
No.
NL manager.
Brian Snitker.
Snicker was mine, but I was trying to be patient. He's the hot pick anyway. Yeah.
He is. For the NL, give me Bob Melvin.
Be my backup.
Give me Oliver Marmol for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
AL comeback player.
Comeback player of the year. Okay.
Anthony Rendon.
That's a good one. I didn't think about Rendon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Sale.
Okay. I picked another pitch. I picked Tyler Glasnow for the Rays.
Okay.
NL comeback.
Tatis.
Cody Bellinger.
All right. I took Jonathan India for the Reds.
All right.
Those are all good picks.
AL breakout player of the year.
Breakout.
I am taking Vinny Pasquantino.
Okay, so you're talking a guy that maybe just under the radar, right?
Yeah, big major sleeper here. Yeah,
Major sleeper.
Vinny Pasquantino, Royals.
Man. Can I pick Andrew Vaughn?
I think that's fine. He's yeah.
That seems like I know he's been in the league for like 2 years now, but I'll do Andrew Vaughn.
Yeah, and he hasn't really he hasn't taken a next
Broken
step
out,
yet.
but I think he's gonna be like a 330 home run guy. So
Yeah, that's a breakout to me. So
I guess I gotta throw a tiger in here somewhere. So I'm gonna give Jake Rogers some props, and we're gonna
I like that. I like
All
Jake
right.
Rogers. That's a fun pick. All right.
we're gonna see.
NL breakout. I'm taking David VR for the Giants.
okay. Man, that's tough. I don't know. Give me I know. Skip me for a second here.
All right, I'm gonna
Consider
take.
yourself skipped.
I think I'm gonna take Nick Madrigal. Is that okay? Is
Nice. That's a familiar face from me.
Madrigal.
He disappointed me last year, but maybe he won't disappoint you.
Yeah. Give me CJ Abrams.
DJ Abrams, all right, yeah.
Okay.
I like CJ Abrams.
Is he still considered a
terrible.
rookie though, or is he past his rookie?
I don't know, but it's a breakout, right? So we're past.
Yeah, it could still be, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Who's your Clemente, Walter Payton Man of the Year?
No. This is
I've got Shohei. I think that's easy. I don't even think it matters. He's bringing baseball to Japan, and
How about Kyle Freeland for the Rockies for me?
give me Tim Anderson. He's
Tim
doing a lot.
Anderson.
I know he's doing a lot in the inner city in Chicago. So
Good, they need it for sure. There's a lot of inner city gang stuff in Chicago.
Yeah.
Who's
we've
your
got 2 sets of bases at least. So
yeah? Hank Aaron, Player of the Year.
Judge.
Jeez,
I'm okay with you taking this one. I don't think you will take mine, but
Oh, now you're gonna have to give me a second to think. Judge too.
all right. Well, I'll say mine then. I took Julio Rodriguez, Mariners.
Okay. All right. We're gonna go with Pete Alonso. Take outside pick. Bad WBC, but he got out of the way. You know.
There you go. All right. Well, then to finish, I'm going to recap last year's stat picks for the 6 players. And Lucas Giolito first. Blake, you said 16-4 with a 2.85 and 182 Ks. Ben, 15.
That would have been awesome. I would have enjoyed that.
Ben was actually a little more humble on it and said 15-6, 3.21 with 210, which still would have been awesome. Actual 11-9, 4.90, 177. Ugh.
Thanks.
Cedric Mullins. Ben, you said 303, 23 home runs, 77 RBIs. Blake said 285, 22 home runs, 70 RBIs. Both you picked very similar numbers for his final stat line. Also disappointing for him. He hit 258, 16 home runs, 64 RBIs.
Yeah.
Chris Bryant. Blake, you said 275 with 30 home runs, 95 RBIs. Ben said 282 with 33 home runs, 106 RBIs. Also very good seasons. Actual hit 306, but injured early, finished with 5 home runs and 14 RBIs. But yeah, hit well in the time that he was healthy.
And did you equate that out to if he was going to make it full year?
Let's extrapolate here. I think we.
I should have done that. I should have done that. No, you have to be able to predict they're going to get hurt. You have to wish injury on them preseason.
I'm just going to say that.
I'm going to do that for one of these guys. When you name it, I'm going to say he's going to get hurt.
It's probably going to be some AL Central douchebag. That's what it's going to be.
Exactly.
Sean Manaea, Ben, said 14-9 with a 3.82 and 177 Ks. Blake said 12-10 with a 3.9 and 165 Ks. Actual went 8-9 with a 4.96 and 156 Ks. So nearly a 5 ERA for him.
Not great.
Josh Bell. Blake said 250, 25 homers, 75 RBIs. Ben said 240, 25 home runs, 85 RBIs. Actual 266, 17 home runs, 71 RBIs. So you guys are probably closest on Josh Bell out of all of them so far. Tristan McKenzie. Ben said 12-8 with a 4.02 ERA, 167 for strikeouts. Blake said 13-10 with a 4.15 and 155 strikeouts. Actual 11-11 with a 2.96 ERA and nearly 200 strikeouts with 190. Had a great year. By far the best overachiever on this list. It's not even close. Surprisingly, that's still 11-11 with 500 doing that. And then to finish, Avisail Garcia. Ben said 265, 27 homers, 95 RBIs. Blake said 270, 28 home runs, 91 RBIs. He hit 224 with 8 home runs and 35 RBIs. Major disappointment. So here are your 6: 3 position players, 3 pitchers. We'll have Ben go first on this one. Cody Bellinger was the first random that came up. How's he going to do with his first new team?
232.
Okay.
We'll give him 24 homers and like 63 RBIs.
Yeah.
So he'll like crack the lineup, but he's still going to strike out way too much.
Way too much. She always does.
Let's see. I'm gonna give him 231 average.
Oh wow, just 0.01 under Ben. It's like you're playing The Price is Right. Go bet $1.
Yeah, we're gonna go bet $1 on the Bob. I'm gonna go 75 RBIs. I'm gonna give him a Joey Gallo type line where he'll have like 25 bombs.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to listen to Ben and just extrapolate myself.
Blake, you get to go first on this one, so you don't have to listen to Ben. You Darvish.
You Darvish. No, I'm gonna go. I'll have an okay year, probably like 14-9, with like a 4.10 ERA, 155 strikeouts.
Yeah.
We'll go 12-8. Give him a 3.7. 177 Ks.
Yeah.
He's probably the guy I should have said injured.
Yeah, that would have been great. He's gonna get hurt. Leave it
Yeah.
alone.
Ben, Frankie Montas.
Montas. Is he in the pen or is he in the rotation?
He's going to be a little bit in the pen, a little bit in the rotation, but he's deep right now on the rotation.
Oh. Seven and 6
Ooh, that's a good pick. Yeah.
with a 4.2, 138 Ks.
That's a good mix of he's probably platooning bullpen starting. So.
I'm gonna go. Let's go 8-8, 4.5 ERA, and 111 strikeouts.
111? Okay. All right, Blake. Matt Vierling.
Oh, it's gonna hit like 230. His power's getting there. It's all here. His power's there. I still think probably 15 pumps.
15.
15. That's power.
Yeah, we'll say like 77 RBIs. Nothing crazy.
All right, jeepers. I'll take that from Matt Vierling this year for
If
sure.
we get that, I'd be thrilled. But I'll give him an RBI.
So this man is making the team, is what we're saying. Like
I think it's official.
Oh man. Okay. 206 with we'll give him 7 homers.
He's getting sent
I
down
don't
to
know.
AAA.
Like 32 ribbies.
He's gonna hit a lot of
Moving up and down a little bit.
That honestly seems way more realistic, unfortunately. So
He's gonna hit a lot of contact. That's all right.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of hard ground balls. No shit.
Last position player here, Ben Jorge Soler.
Oh jeez, man, that guy. I could probably extrapolate his normal stat line, and it'll be pretty normal. It'll be pretty standard for him. All right. What did he do last year? What did he hit last year? All right, so he's gonna hit 207 last year. 2 years ago, somehow hit almost 270. But so I'm gonna go 210. I'm gonna double his home run output. He only hit 13 last year, so I'm gonna give him I'll give him 22 homers and 67 RBIs.
67?
Yeah, and over 100 strikeouts.
Yeah, we'll get that specific.
This would be a great one for sure to say injured. Like no questions asked.
It could also be one where you say 220, 45 bombs and 110 RBIs, and nobody would be surprised.
Yeah, no, I'm along Ben's line. I'd go 201, I like 61 RBIs, home runs. I don't know, 19.
That's probably
Yeah.
pretty.
All right, Blake, you got to finish it with a hard one here. There's the last pitcher, and he's basically bullpen. So, River San Martin.
San Martin.
All right, we'll let him go 3-3 out of the pad. Gonna go a 4.1 ERA and 62 strikeouts.
He was
52
terrible.
or 62? I want to make sure.
62.
All right. 52 is too low for sure.
Horrendous last year, wasn't he?
I like River San Martin. I think he's got good stuff, but definitely inconsistent.
He's got good stuff. 4-4. And no, we'll go this. We'll go 3-5.
Because it's the Reds. They're bad.
With we'll give him a 5-7.
He's gonna get sent down with that number, dude.
He might not with that team.
You're
I
right.
mean, last year he had over a 6.
Did he? Dang.
Yeah, it's terrible. And 50 Ks. Put him 50 on the dot.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. That was fun. It'll be fun to look again back at the last year. Obviously, it was fun to see how we were way low on what Tristan McKenzie ended up finishing with, but we were way over on Lucas Giolito. Kind of switched up a little bit. So hopefully, Ben, for your sake, you get the old Giolito back. For Blake and I's sake, I hope he just stays the way he was.
And I had him get a Cy Young last year, so
You did. You picked him.
I had to go high.
You sounded higher on the White Sox last year than Ben did, so this is alone.
I am cautiously optimistic about this White Sox team.
That's good. All right. Well, it'll be fun to talk mid-season again about some baseball, and then again at the end of the season when we do our playoff preview. But until then, thanks for coming back on. Thanks for tuning in with us. Thanks for coming on, Blake, and take care.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.